interesting thing about cynicism is that it can also have a sense of humor, and it can be quite funny sometimes. Yes. And everybody uses it. I use it as well. I can be quite cynical of things that I like to make fun of. However, cynicism actually, it's a really sharp tool. Maybe it's the sharpest tool we have in our toolbox. But it, in a way, to me, it seems like it serves two functions. The first function is it cuts the other down, cuts them down to size, and it brings me up. It supports me as well. And in the weekend, I was kind of using the big mind process to actually speak to that voice, so we could clarify where the voice is. And I actually asked people to speak to the voice of cynicism. And it's great because then everybody can start being cynical. They can be cynical of the teachers, they can be cynical of the practices we're doing, they can be cynical of this Aikido, of that Aikido, they can be cynical of that person, whatever. And it's all the voices are allowed to be who they are. But one of the beautiful things that came up is that one of the participants, he said something that was really, really beautiful, especially if we talk about boundaries. He said the cynicism, for him, it was like the last line of defense before total despair. It's like he had his boundary, and he was standing on the boundary, and he used cynicism as his last line of defense. If he were to drop that line of defense, it would appear that he would drop into despair. And it's always like that before we expand into boundaries. That's why we have to take a risk. Also in meditation, we talk about the hindrances, and actually the fifth of the 5 hindrances are skeptical doubt and cynicism. And cynicism literally is the last stand of the ego. This is how the ego really protects itself. When it can't defend itself anymore, it throws a joke or throws a criticism. And that's how we protect ourselves. And that's how we preserve these smaller circles. But if we allow ourselves just to suspend our cynicism, we don't have to kill it. It's who we are. We don't want to kill we don't want to kill aspects of ourselves. We want to honor them, let them see them as their function, like these walls have a function, but then we want to allow ourselves to go beyond them.
Right.
Yeah, so the cynic can be great, it can be funny, it can be a nice way to have social humor, but we also want to relax them if we're going to be doing practices that try to expand or find an evolutionary perspective into who we are.